So, today I'm going to talk about how to know when to stay in a relationship and when to go. I feel like there's a lot of confusion around this because we're taught that, oh, well, if only I change myself enough, then the person in my life will change. And sometimes that does happen. When we change the relationship, even to ourselves, our relationship with our parents could change because our parents, the parents that we choose, are very much a hologram of the relationship between our own male and female energies. So when we heal that dynamic, you might find that the relationship between you and your parents, even between your parents, even if they're divorced, might change. Very fascinating. But the first step to knowing the answer to this question is that you want to know the answer. You desire to know the answer. I want to know. I want to know whether it is in my highest good and in alignment with my deepest core desires that I stay in this relationship and transform myself within it, or that I leave this relationship. Step 1. I want to know the answer. That's that's often the hardest part. Why don't we know the answer to things? Because we actually know the answer to everything about our lives. We know when someone's not right for us. We know when a friendship isn't good for us. But why can't we see that? We can't see things as they are, and as they are in terms of our highest good. When we want something from the person, right? If you hold on to a friend who's been pretty much a douchebag to you your entire life, because they had a bad childhood, because of sympathy, because your bond to someone should never be one of those emotions, sympathy, guilt, if at the end of the day the way they treat you is not kind. Because essentially what you're doing is you're choosing to engage with unkindness to self. And a lot of people compare themselves to Jesus and say, like, they threw rocks at him and they crucified him. Yeah, but he didn't go home with those people. He didn't let them make him feel bad about himself, but he also didn't take all of those people home with him and hang out with them every day. This is where the trickster comes into the spiritual ego. So, step 1, I want to know the answer. I want to know the answer. So, is the reason that I'm still holding on to this friend because I want something from them, right? Our ability to see things as they are gets distorted when we want something, when we depend on something, when we are needy of something, when we are not sovereign in our energy. I need this person because without them, I'll feel more lonely. I need this person because they give me access to opportunities, even though they aren't even nice to me. We have nothing in common. We don't have, there's no really, there's no healthy reason why we are in a friendship or in an intimate relationship other than they make me feel safe. They give me a sense of security. I don't have to deal with aloneness, loneliness. I don't have to deal with the fear that comes in the void of uncertainty and all of that. So, of course, step 1, I want to know the answer. Step 2, look at what is bonding you to a situation. So, when you no longer need something from someone, if I don't need a man to make me feel secure, so I'm secure in and of myself, I'm secure. I have no lack within me. I don't need a man to secure financial success. I don't need a man to secure that I will have I don't need to stay connected to this man who is unkind to me because I'm afraid that if I let him go, that I will never have children and I'm getting older and blah, blah, blah. If I take away all of those lackful thoughts and stories and needs and lies, what am I left with? Do I want to be with this person? If I don't need anything from you, do I enjoy this dynamic? Can I accept that person, right? If it's in the context of, especially an intimate relationship, can I accept that person as an entire package, knowing that they may never change? Today, I accept them as they are, their strengths and their weaknesses. Do I accept that? Sometimes the answer is no. Like, I'll tell you for myself, I have two things that for me are unacceptable in a partner. One is the unwillingness to look at self and transform. Unwillingness. I don't want to hear anything. I don't want any outer perspectives. And I respect people that don't let other people tell them who they are, but also to simultaneously be certain within oneself, reliant upon oneself, but flexible to outer perspectives and flexible to the idea of transformation and change. Absolutely. If somebody is not willing to do that, it's a no for me. Another non negotiable for me is people that are not in love with life. People who complain, people who find reasons to make themselves upset. That's a no go for me. Like, I have overcome way too much in my life to complain about X, Y, and Z, and I won't do it. So that to me feels like a literal weight or drain, right? So if I met a person that came into my life that had either one of those qualities, I'd say, no, I'm going to make a decision based on the here and now, not based on your potential, not based on what I wish you were, not based on the fact that you check 7 out of the 10 boxes and I'm going to try to mold the 3 other ones out of you. No, no. And the problem is that we have a lackful way of thinking. So we think, oh, no one else is going to come. I better hold on to you and try to change you. No, that is not the answer. That is a lackful way of thinking, that is controlling, that is manipulative. What I'm going to call the correct way to live, and by correct I mean not right in the moral sense, but the corrected, my soul has corrected its lackful beliefs, is to say, I am whole, I am whole, I am sovereign. All of my dreams and all of what I want to experience in my life, the things I would like to create, the abundance, the friendships, I am the demand that the universe is supplying. I don't need that demand to come through the vessel of someone else, although, of course, it will. But if you live in a way that you're looking to find security and abundance and X, Y, and Z through other people, you're not in wholeness. And if you're on a spiritual path, that thing, that person, they will be taken away from you, or they will cause chaos in your dynamic, because the universe is trying to teach you not to live that way. So step 1, I want to know the answer. That's half the battle. I just want to fucking know the answer. I'm ready. I'm ready for the truth. I'm ready to face everything within me that's afraid of knowing the truth. Just give me the truth, right? Then look at what is bonding you. You don't want to stay bonded to someone because of guilt, because of fear, because of lack. So take care of all those things, right? Take care of all those things. I'm whole. I'm not a guilt. Like, so many people suffer with chronic guilt. And it's like, I hear people say that they work on guilt for like lifetimes, for like even 40 years in this lifetime. I've been trying to let go of guilt. If you want to let go of guilt, call me. I work with people one-on-one, or reach out to me. I've done it. I had some pretty nasty guilt because I believed that I was a piece of shit. This is subconsciously. I believe that I don't deserve anything. I believe that I'm a guilty sinner. And for me in relationship, my answer to everything was to change myself. And the thing is, like, that is great advice if you need to learn how to do that. But it's often the thing that's more uncomfortable and more unnatural, right? So if leaving a situation is more unnatural for you, that's probably the answer. I'm going to tell you a story about that. When I was in a relationship for many years, 10 years, I took the attitude of, I'm going to change myself. I'm going to transform. I'm going to learn how to focus my mind. I'm not going to, I'm not going to speak when I'm angry. And by the way, I haven't perfected that by any means, but I try. But within me, I swear, I thought that if I did that enough, that this person would transform and meet me where I was. Turns out that man is gay, is actually clinically considered a sociopath, and is still up to the same no good that he was when he was with me. So it doesn't matter how much I do. Actually, what actually got me out of that situation was a very scary encounter with that person. I saw his demons and they attacked me physically. And that's when I started seeing archangels and Archangel Michael literally like moved me out of that relationship because I was too I wasn't getting the message. I wasn't getting the message that, sweetheart, the answer is to leave. You don't need to change. You don't need to change harder. You need to walk away. So if you have similar karma as me, doormat karma, or being really, there's so much in there, being afraid that nothing, it's really like not trusting life, being afraid that if I leave this, that I'll never have what I want. That's really at the core of it. If I leave this man, it'll be too late for me. I'll never have what I want. And you know what's funny? It's been 5 years now. It's been 5 years since I left that person. And even now at my age, 37, like if you would have told me when I was 32 that I'd still wouldn't have kids at 37, I probably would have like spiraled into some kind of like depression. Not really, because you can't really spiral into depression for too long when you know you're an eternal being. But it would have affected me more. But like now, and I'm in the situation and I feel whole and I feel like nothing's missing, and I feel like whatever my life turns out to be is like it's my personal adventure, and I love it. I'm in love with me, and I'm in love with my life, and I'm in love with life. And I think from that stance, from that place, so much, when you call your energy back to you, so much abundance can come to you in ways that you can accept and keep and build upon. So how do you know when to stay or when to go? This is personal. I personally, it comes easy to me to transform myself and to assume that everything is my fault. And of course, everything's a hologram, right? There's even some logic in this, right? If people are showing up, but also the question is, why do I keep choosing? Why do I keep choosing something that I know is unhealthy? Because I'm learning my soul's lesson is to love myself, to serve myself first, not in a narcissistic way, in a way that actually fills up my tank so that I can actually be a giver in this world, right? That's the lesson that I have learned, and that's so personal to me. You have to want to know the answer to this question, like, what is the answer for me, to really be able to answer it for yourself. Are you being taught? Are you supposed to lean into transformation? And by the way, it's not one or the other. Of course, you should always be transforming self, always. How am I doing evil speech, which is one of my biggest karmic things, which is like telling people, what I think, or like I have the tendency to not say things at early stages until it builds up so much that like I can't hold my tongue anymore. And then I say even things that are true, but without mercy, without the energy of compassion. Like I say things that are true, but like it's not coming from a place of love. And so that's something that I'm still working on, and I'm determined to master that. However, I know that in my life I have held on to things for too long because of the fear that I won't get what I want if I don't hold on. So this is very personal to your karma. I know that might not be. Everybody wants to give you like a fresh little clickbait, simple answer, but it's really personal to you. And I want to just give you permission to say, maybe the answer for me is to walk away from something. That's actually a lot harder for me, to walk away and be in a void where I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know who's coming next. I don't know how many years or how many days it's going to take. That's something to consider, that right, it doesn't have to take any time at all. Once you learn something and once you have called your energy back to you, you're more than likely to magnetize all kinds of things to you, because the universe likes to learn in relationship, in situations, in opportunities, right? Don't be afraid that nothing's going to come. Of course it will. But yeah, so I hope this is helpful, and I hope you have a beautiful day.